Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on our 2010 Mercedes AMG G55. Let's give it a little bit of throttle. For how much these G-Wagons weigh, the G55 just feels unusually fast. In one of the previous videos, we replaced all 16 of the spark plug wires and the spark plugs themselves. The coils, they seem to be okay, but since they look to be the original ones, we're going to go ahead and put new coils in this thing to get all of the ignition components completely refreshed and brand new. We've got the hood propped open and got our handy dandy DeWalt underhood light propped up on here so that we've got tons of light so we can see what we're doing. On these motors, there are 8 ignition coils. It's an 8-cylinder V8. There's 4 ignition coils on this side, 4 on that side. Each of the ignition coils drives 2 separate spark plug wires and 2 separate spark plugs for a total of 16. This is what the ignition coil looks like. This is the top of it that you're going to see just mounted to the top of the valve cover. This is the 2 outlets for your ignition wires that go to the 2 separate spark plugs. That is the connector that goes to it from the engine wiring harness, and this is what the bottom of it looks like. You can see very clearly that it has 2 separate coils in this one coil pack. And then on top of it, you'll see the diagram that notates the top one is A, bottom one is B. I'll show you where those go. Essentially, you want to connect it the same way it looked before. Let's start on this side. First thing we're going to do is, I might need both my hands, but we're going to take this hose. You just pull out on it. It's a little bit flexible right here. Pull out on it, then we're going to rotate it upwards and out of the way. This right here is the air box. The air filter is underneath here. If you want to know how to change that, I've got another video on the channel showing how to replace the air filter. You take the front, you can see right there, you see this guy right here, that's a clip, clips down right there. So just pull up on it, and there's another clip kind of hidden right around here. Grab the back of this thing and just lift up. Now, if you lift the whole thing up, you'll see all 4 of the coil packs right there. And in the middle of them, you'll see that there is a little screw. It's hard to see. It is a torque screw. Before we unscrew any of these coils, let's take a look and see where the spark plugs are connected so we can get them connected back in the same order. This is the furthest forward, and this is the next one. Both of those go to one cylinder. Then these 2 go to the next cylinder. Then those 2 and those 2. And what we want to do is look and see where they connect to on the coil packs. And you can see the frontmost one goes to the top, then the next one for that same cylinder goes to the bottom connection on the coil pack, and it's the same on the rest of them. So that way we know exactly where they go. Now, in order to make this quick and easy, so I'm not wasting a bunch of time doing these one at a time, I'm just going to go ahead and disconnect all of these. Now, make sure you don't grab them by this part of the wire. Grab them right here by that indented portion of the boot, like that. And we're just gonna, one by one, disconnect all of these. I'm gonna go through and do the rest. Make sure you wear some good gloves too. I love these, they're disposable, but you can usually wear them several times before they're ready to throw away. And they're better than the little neoprene or plastic gloves because they've got a little bit of fabric on here and some rubber texture, especially when you work in a small area like this with all kinds of sharp metal around you. They do a good job of protecting your skin so you don't end up with a bunch of cuts. I'll put a link down in the description for them. Also, I'll put the link down in the description for the new coil packs along with the part number and everything. Now that we've got all of those off, next thing we're going to do is unclip these. These are pretty simple to unclip. You've got that little clip piece right there. So you just press down up here and it releases the clip, and grab the base of the connector. Do not grab it by the wires, and take them off. Pretty easy to see, whoops. It's pretty easy to see where they go based on where they come off of on the harness, but take a look at your harness, just in case it's different for different years of these. Make sure that you know exactly which clip goes to which ignition coil. Now, I know one question you guys are gonna ask is, why are you replacing the coils if you think they're okay? Let me tell you where I started with all of this. When we purchased this G55, it had a lot of issues. and we've been working through fixing all of them one by one. One of the issues was a really, really rough idle. Driving around on the throttle and everything, it would run just fine. But at idle, it would stumble, it would miss. You could tell that at least multiple cylinders, if not more than two, were missing on the firing, whether it was the fueling or the coils or the spark plugs. So the first thing I did is troubleshoot a bit, look for vacuum leaks all around. I couldn't find any vacuum leaks. Next thing I went and dug into was brand new spark plugs and brand new ignition wires. Got all those done, and the idle smoothed out, ran really well. Drove it for a couple days and gave it lots of gas, let it idle a bunch, different driving scenarios, and overall ran just like you would think a Mercedes should. Super smooth, really predictable throttle, awesome results. Then a few days ago, the idle got a little bit rough again, nowhere near what it was when we first purchased this truck, but it did get a little bit rough again. And I was gonna put new coils in it at some point anyway. So I went ahead and got the coils out of the box, and that's what we're doing today. We're gonna replace all of the ignition coils and then see how it runs. And that way we at least got all of the ignition components completely refreshed and brand new. And we'll see what the results are. So hang out with me, let's get these installed and we'll test it afterwards, see how it is. I've got all of them unplugged. Now we're going to unscrew all 4 of them and take them out. In order to unscrew those, you're gonna need a T30 Torx bit. Here's all 4 of the old coils, and here's the brand new one. Always make sure your new parts match the old ones. The new ones I've got here are the Bosch part number, which are the OEMs. They are part number 0221503035. You can buy the Mercedes part numbered ones with the Mercedes logo on them as well, but these are the exact same as the ones from Mercedes. Let's take a look at every side of it. Make sure these are the same size, same orientation, and everything is identical. Yeah, these are definitely the original ones. They're not in terrible shape, but they are old, and we are going to replace them. You're going to reuse the screws from the old ones to hold the new ones onto the valve cover. There's all the new coils on there. And one tip, while you're putting these on, just be careful that these connectors don't end up behind the coil, and also these spark plug boots, they kind of like to wiggle their way up to right where the seating surface is for those coils. Make sure you're pulling them out of the way while you're trying to bolt them down. Then go back across all 4 and make sure that the Torx bolts are nice and snug. Now we're going to connect all of our spark plug wires and then our coil connect. All the wires are connected. Make sure they're pushed in all the way. Make sure the top connectors are seated nice and good. I can tell you, all in, with taking some time in between steps to film this for you guys, so far this has taken me about, I'd say, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, something like that. So this is not very difficult. It's very easy to do. You can do it yourself at home with very basic hand tools. I've got that airbox clipped back down. Make sure you peek under there as you're putting it down and line up that clip with the little rubber foot there. That way you're not smashing it onto something when it's not lined up. We're gonna rotate this back around and get that pressed back in like so. Now let's get over to this side. Same thing on this side. Pop the airbox up off of the 2 little feet. That one right there and that one right there. Let me point to it so you guys know what I'm talking about. This one and this one. That's where those little feet are that these clips go onto. Let's go ahead and get all the spark plug wires off and the connectors off the tops and unbolt these. Now here's all of the coils for the driver's side. I kept them all in order. This is the rearmost cylinder, frontmost, rearmost, frontmost. Let's see, get the screw out of there. We'll see what these look like. If you ever see these and they have like a swollen cover over the coil pack or anything like that, they're very obviously bad. But usually you'll notice failures way before you start seeing any swelling or cracking in the housings. But these are about the same as the other side. They're old, a little bit of corrosion on them. They are working okay, but we're going to go ahead and replace them. New coils are all on there and good. And while you're in here, other side too, it's always a good idea to check out your valve cover, make sure you don't have any leaking, seeping, you know, stuff like that. Because if you do, it's, you know, while I'm in there kind of thing, you might as well replace the valve cover gasket or plan on it if you see a leak for your next round of maintenance. There are all of those connected. Let's get the top ones on. Those are all on now as well. Now on this side, this is your steering column right here, this guy, and that turns. This flange right here is attached to the body, so that does not turn, but this silver section and that U-joint, they do turn. Check all of your spark plug wires to make sure nothing's gonna get snagged on anything. This one, I don't like the way it sits on that, so what I'm gonna do is grab a zip tie from here to the next spark plug just to keep it up and out of the way, just like that. That way it is staying off of this rotating assembly. Okay, I rerouted it. If you noticed just a second ago, that angle coming off the spark plug was just too tight of an angle. It would have probably been fine, but instead I zip tied it upwards and I can still fit my finger in between that U-joint on the drive shaft and the spark plug, and it's pulling a little bit up, but not too much of an angle there, and it's got a less abrupt angle coming off the spark plug. You know, come to think of it, I wonder if that was part of the issue with the old original spark plug wires. Is that, I don't know, maybe not. At this point, who cares? It's all replaced and brand new anyway. Got the air box clipped down. Let's rotate this guy. Rotate it first to where you got the angle as close as it should be, and then push it on. Because if you don't rotate it first and you just push it on, then this angle is gonna try to pull it away. And if you ever come back in the engine bay and check, sometimes you'll notice that this has popped off because you did it that way. Now, no matter how much I pull and tug, it doesn't come off because the angles are all correct. Got all my tools put away, got the light put away. Before you go and start the engine, just check around. Make sure you've got all of your tools that you may have had scattered across the top of the engine put back in your toolbox. Now, let's go and give it a start. All right, we're gonna get my son in the truck. He's gonna give it a crank, and we're just gonna listen after the idle settles down for any misfires. All right, go ahead. So you can tell the idle's a little high right now when it first starts. We're gonna wait for the idle to come down. Now that the idle's back down, we're just gonna listen for misfires. Listen on this side. Make sure it's nice and smooth. Listen on this side. And since we've got the exhaust on the G-Wagons that exit out of either side, 4 cylinders on this side, 4 cylinders on that side, we're gonna come and listen to the exhaust note as well to see if we hear any misfires. Nice and smooth there. Let's check the other side. Is that you? No. Nice and smooth there. All right, I think we're good to go. I'll put the links for everything I use down in the description below. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, and if you'd like to support the channel, subscribe as well. And if you want to be notified for any new videos that get uploaded, hit that bell icon and it'll send you a notification anytime a new video is uploaded to the channel. Thanks for watching. As always, I love you guys, and I will see you next time. Shut this thing on down. Taking it for a little bit of a test drive. So far, so good. As you can tell, I don't know if you can tell in the video, my idle is rock solid, no blips. I'm gonna take it on the highway and get it all nice and warmed up. And then we'll drive it around on the side streets again and see how it does. Let's go. Idle is rock solid, staying exactly where it should be. So far, so good. Let's give it a little bit of throttle. much these G-Wagons weigh. The G55 just feels unusually fast. I don't know if that's just how it drives or the throttle response. It's 500, what is it, 500 horsepower, 520 horsepower with the supercharged motor. But it definitely, to me, I've driven tons of different cars over my lifetime. Fast, slow, all kinds of things. The G55, for some reason, just feels faster than what the specs are. And it's hilarious in a vehicle that has a solid front axle. And you can tell with the way it drives, especially under hard acceleration, that there's definitely still a solid front axle up there. If you guys have ever had a Land Cruiser, and I know a lot of my viewers have, just imagine an 80 series or a 60 series Land Cruiser with 500 horsepower under it. It just would feel hilarious. and somewhat uncontrollable on the front end when you mash on the throttle. That's kind of how this thing is. All right, I think this turned out well. Another worthwhile maintenance on this G-Wagon, and we'll keep working our way through the rest of the stuff. Next, I gotta diagnose this check engine light. Luckily, it's nothing terribly difficult. It's the evaporator canister system, one of those little switches in there, the valves that open and shut to keep the fuel tank pressure at the level it should be, and the emission system and whatever. Some valve or something is stuck, so I gotta pop that open, figure out what's going on, and replace the parts that need replacing. All right, well, back to the house, get some Sunday chores done. Okay, I'm back in the garage. I definitely do notice a smoother idle. At this point, yeah, I'm trying to listen. Yeah, it is smoother. Very, very, very slight difference, but it is a smoother idle. Now that I've driven it for 20 minutes, did some full throttle runs on the highway, everything's nice and hot. At this point, the idle was fine before, it was smooth after I changed the plugs and the wires. And I can't put my finger on exactly what, but the idle is smoother right now. It's definitely noticeably smoother. You know what it is? Right now I have it in gear. When I had it in neutral in the past, like most V8s, in neutral, there's no load on the motor, and it was super smooth. And then when I would put it in drive, it was still smooth, but just a little more lumpy. Right now, in drive, it's still very, very, very smooth idle. So it made a little bit of a difference. Throttle response is still the same, power still feels the same, but it did make a little bit of a difference. Well worth the effort to replace those 16-year-old coils at this point. All right, I'm gone for real this time. Bye-bye.